All right.
So yeah, no, I wanted. I think it was cool that you and I didn't text or anything about this. We didn't even talk to
Yeah.
JD about this.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
I
I I,
literally,
I almost messaged him because I finished it earlier today and I was like, mm, I really wanted to message him, but I didn't. I held myself back.
I wouldn't be shocked if he knew something. Well, actually, no, I shouldn't say that. I don't know why he said that because I don't think Jeremy Adams doesn't know anything what's going on with this.
Oh, I know, huh?
So, which I'd be curious what he would have to say. I'm sure he'll hear about it, but
Oh
um,
yeah. Yeah.
so you want to know what I think?
Yeah. Okay. How do you feel about it, like the issue as a whole, before we like get into the details?
I gotta say, I think this was the best issue so far.
Okay.
I think
Have
it's the best issue so far.
have you ever both liked and disliked something at the same time?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
That's
I
how
I
I
th
feel after reading this. The whole run, I'm in that like tight little I like and don't like it.
well, I'll say one thing I didn't like. Which I don't like to get too harsh, but unless it's like warranted. I didn't like how there was like the mind parasite kind of thing with they didn't even go specific. They didn't I feel like they
With
said it was
Linda?
like no with Thawne or just Reverse Flash.
Oh, yeah.
Because it made it seem like it was tons of different reverse flashes, whether it be Thawne, Zolomon, Edward Claris, like throughout the multiverse, all infecting Barry's mind,
Yeah.
which I didn't like because I felt like the annual made it. No, was it the annual? Yeah, it was the annual because it was the last thing we talked about. Um, it made it seem like it was like the Ultra Humanite's brain, which I felt like that was even a it was like a misdirect of a misdirect. Like it was like Ultra Humanite or
And
Grodd,
and
and now
it
it's
maybe
this.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean now that you mention it, yeah, it does seem like it's a little odd. But so and is the ultra humanite brain like just being used as like a way to amplify it so they can shove them all into Barry's mind? Like it wasn't explained, you know?
Like I get that like this is like a whole thing where the rogues are kind of pulling strings with like Wally, like kind of
Yeah.
manipulating him into thinking that like he's the problem. And but I just keep getting the feeling I'm like, well, who's really behind this? Because I thought this was going to be Thawne didn't seem like he was pulling the strings with this, so I'm kind of just like, what's going
Right.
on here
And
with
and
that?
what are these arc angles that they keep like referencing? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and
Like
like,
I don't really know.
and they keep referencing the arc angles, and I just feel like when every time it's brought up, I kind of zone out a little bit, and I need to like reread because
Yeah.
I feel like I couldn't even tell you what they are at this point, and we're 9 issues in. Like I'm like with all the concepts that keep getting introduced, I'm like really because like I'm like I know there's the stillness, the humanoid uh
Hmm.
people that
Like
with the
yeah, they're like
circle in their chest.
yeah, yeah, and they got like blue and
Yeah,
green
all
and
different
or
colors.
whatever. Yeah.
But I just feel like there's so many like concepts that I'm like,
Yeah.
are the arc angles like the opposite of them? Like I don't really know. I'm
I
hoping it kind of gets.
I like so badly want to like nitpick this issue.
Nitpick it, man. Tell me what you think,
Uh,
or just
I mean, shoot.
anything on it.
Let's start at the beginning because like the stuff that I'm interested in is it just feels like it's fluff, and he's using that as like the backdrop to use all these fancy ass words that doesn't like have any explanation behind them other than just being these science words on the page because it makes it read smart. Um,
Yeah.
First off, other than that, Daniel West erasure. Where the hell is Daniel West? He's not in this.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't
And
brought up.
what about inertia? Where are they? Like where like
Mm,
you know what I mean? Like if they're technically reverses,
Yeah,
So like if we're gonna use Edward Claris
I know.
from the
Yeah.
Golden Age, like you could at least use like at least use the others.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. This stuff with Daniel West is just so weird. Like,
Yeah, like I wish he wasn't dead. That's first off.
yeah, well,
But that would just be the perfect time to use him. You could bring him back, you know?
well, Wallace, I mean, he hasn't they had that Speed Force book, but I didn't read
Yeah,
that.
nothing happened in that shit.
Yeah. Well, you think like if something to get paid off maybe with there or something would be
Yeah,
mentioned.
like yeah, at least it was like his Wallace's first like co-led book. You could show if he could have shown up there, but no. Well, like, and see, here's the thing: is had that Speed Force been a book that actually connects to Flash, you could have used Daniel West in that. Because okay, and I was thinking about this earlier. The idea of like the Crown of Thorns and using all the different reverse flashes to try and like manipulate Barry and all like and do all these things is a cool idea. The execution of it, the way that it is not that great. Why I don't understand like why couldn't it have been something like the respective reverse flash is going to hijack the body of their flash. Like Barry gets possessed by Eobard, Wally gets possessed by Hunter, Wallace by Daniel, Bart by Inertia, Edward, Jay by Edward. Because then it's kind of like you're taking all of the players off the board, and it I don't know. I feel like that would have been more interesting than having all of these different reverse flashes from wherever they've come from. Like Barry,
Yeah.
you just need to do this. You need to listen to us.
Yeah.
I wasn't into it. And plus, and then to circle back around to Speed Force, you could have introduced that concept there and have Daniel West possess Wallace. And then it would, but see, like, I don't know. I just don't know that like something like that was like ever really talked about, like actually connecting the two books in a substantial way. Because it's just referenced in the first issue, and then I think at the end of the series, and it's like, oh well, I got to go back and do these things.
Yeah. I
So I
I
don't know.
um I I feel like when Speed Force that book got announced, it felt like they it might have started as like a B story thing, and then it was someone had the idea of like, let's just make it a book, you know?
It 1,000%. It should have just been a backup.
And I'm just gonna say this right now, and I'm hoping he's listening. I blame JD for that because him and I talk a lot about
No,
like
I
the
always I've no blame. I'm
two
throw me
books.
in there too. I always wanted a second Flash book. Now I don't.
I'm
I mean,
a
Jake Garrick was good. I like Jake
oh yeah,
Garrick.
well yeah, but it was it was with her boy. Um in Jeremy Adams we trust.
Yeah, of course, man.
But I just feel like, when I look at my shelf of all my Flash books, I just love that it's just like one title,
The
you get
Flash.
it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
that is
it's
true.
I
That's
don't
true.
and I know like everyone's like, oh, I want to see all like the family and stuff, and it's like just if they're handled well, it can just it can all be in the book. You know what I mean?
Like, and here's the other thing I thought about too, because that Batman Brave and the Bold book that's been coming out for like the last year or so.
Yeah.
It's when it started out, it was just always like it's just an anthology Batman book. But I guess this month, and I think maybe last month, it's kind of turned into like a team up, like just general DC team up anthology book.
Well, I like that. That's cool.
What this and it'll probably never happen. If they were to drop the Batman, from the title and just call it Brave and the Bold, you could do like a 6 issue Flash family arc, for like, and they don't have to be 23 issues or 23-page issues. They could be just the 10 or 12 pages, because those are bigger. They're the square bound books. They're like 80 pages or so. So you could really do that for 6 months and
Or
get a decent
just
Flash family story out of that.
I'm not opposed to just putting like a B story. Like look what like Jeremy Adams is doing right now. Like
Yeah,
he's kind of been he's doing with Green Lantern. I love because the main story is Hal,
yeah,
and then the B story it's kind of been rotating through other lanterns. You
yeah.
notice
Like right
that?
now we're doing the Guy Gardner one for House of Brainiac.
And it always kind of ties into
Yeah,
an event that's going on with DC or just an event with Green Lantern. Like that's how you do it, and that's like I think that's how you would handle the Flash family,
yeah.
in
I
a
mean,
B
I could get
story
down
kind of
with
like
that.
that.
I just like
That's the
the
way to go.
idea of them utilizing every avenue to tell good stories because they don't. You know what I mean? Like it's either Batman or it's Batman adjacent or it doesn't hardly happen unless it's like a passion project for a creator.
Yeah.
So it's like disappointing to see because like we technically had three Flash books going at one time,
Yeah, it's
and
crazy to think. Yeah.
yeah, and it is crazy to think because I don't think that's ever happened. And then like one of them being really not that great, and then one of them being a dead end because the Golden Age stuff has kind of fallen off and is not really going anywhere.
I was muted.
I was
I
about
have
to say
two
you're
issues
muted me.
left of Jay Garrick. I don't unless it's like something that I like a Hickman or something. I wait for the six issues to go on like DC Infinite.
Oh
Like
yeah,
I wait a month and I can just, read it on there.
yeah.
A little behind on that, but
I mean, it was
what I
good.
read
Like,
was good.
yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of it was good. It was a good read. I
Yeah.
got nothing bad to say about that book. So
I think I know this is a solid issue because I actually have notes. I wrote notes about this.
because you didn't have any for the annual, right?
I didn't have much. I had some notes for the annual, but I didn't have much. I feel like
Oh,
that we
okay.
just went on a tangent with that.
Here's okay, and here's the other thing I didn't like as I'm flipping through this right now. Why in the hell is Iris so like, oh, he's just being mind controlled by an evil villain? It's whatever. And I'm like,
Yeah,
what? You're like the only character in this book that's been written like normal,
I know. And then
and
just
you just
not.
think it's like, oh, whatever. He'll figure it out. He's too fast to run away from anyway. We'll just stand still.
Yeah.
It's just stupid. Like it doesn't make
Well,
any sense.
they said something, I think, with Linda that she was like being manipulated by the rogues, like those
Yeah. Okay.
thoughts in her
Okay.
head, or the
Can we talk
archangels.
about that too? Can we talk about that
Yeah.
too? Because that they he almost had me, man, with like the postpartum depression angle. It
Yeah.
if that would have genuinely been the reason why Linda's acting out of character and why she's like weird and stressed out and isn't herself, and like if that would have been like the ending of this, and the resident is just like the speed force manifesting that, you know what I mean? Like if there was some weird explanation for that, I'm 1,000% in because it's like it's like it becomes like a tangible thing for Wally to interact with while he's away from her, and it gives him like because the resident seems like she's constantly like urging him to remember things,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
what better way to like to do that than to tie his wife into it, who is acting weird. So it's like the piece of her that he recognizes is urging him to come back, whereas her physical body is just like she's out to lunch, you know what I mean, 24/7 right now because of all
Yeah.
this. So for it to be abracadabra is manipulating her, it was so stupid, bro. It was so dumb.
And like I can't tell like because she punched him and
Yeah.
then it seems like it's just resolved, like she's gonna go back to normal. Like even Iris says like, oh, like
Yeah.
she's back. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't feel like that was wrapped up the way it should
Okay.
have been.
So
If it was wrapped up, you know what I mean? It's like,
I keep saying this is probably going to end at 12. I'm feeling more and more sure every single day because like to basically say, oh, she's being mind controlled. One punch, he's done. She's back. It's like, what the hell? Like, is he having to wrap this up because it's not doing what DC thought it would do, and they're really going to cancel this book?
well, I noticed like a lot of we can go look real quick, like a lot of titles, like Green Arrow I saw.
Well, yeah, Green Arrow's being put. It was pushed to ongoing a while back, so
Oh,
we know for a fact that it's continuing.
I like this countdown to absolute power. That reminds me of was it Countdown to Infinite Crisis when they did that?
Yeah, I
I
think
want to
so.
say. I think they've done that with all the crisis events really, but
Yeah, that banner started with the what the hell was it called? With Suicide Squad Dream Team. So that was like the first issue of that was the first chapter in the countdown
yeah,
thing.
August. That's like
Yeah,
I noticed like all the big titles right now are kind of seems
it
like
seems like they're winding down for absolute power, or like you know what I mean, or ramping up. I don't know. because like here's how I can imagine if Flash is ending. They either let Spurrier write the tie-ins for Absolute Power and that the book is over after that, or the book is over at 12 and there are no Flash tie-ins. And whatever happens with the Flash characters is resolved in the Absolute Power tie-ins, and then that's it. And then we get a relaunch later in the fall.
Yeah, when I read this, it just, I mean, it seems like it's kind of
Does
wrapping
it
up.
not though?
Yeah.
Like it seems like the
Yeah.
end.
Oh, dude, I still love this. I know we talked about this last
Yeah.
time, but I love that. Um,
Or I'm still flipping through this. Or how about this part where it's like the get out of my head, like yeah, get out of my man. Like when he gets rid of all the thought, all the reverse flashes out of his mind, and it's just like I could have done this at any point. I just wanted to hear your master plan.
yeah, that was a little cheesy.
Like is okay. It felt like such a jarring like tonal shift because this issue feels like kind of lighthearted in some ways, whereas like the last 9 issues, like including the annual, everything has felt so like weird, eerie, serious, like off the rails crazy, and now we're just like silly Three Stooges. Linda punches Abracadabra and he sees stars and falls to the ground. And and then she's like, "Oh, get out of my man!" And then that's it. We win.
Yeah, some dialogue that I wasn't like, eh.
Just felt weird. I don't know.
I can kind of tell certain lines in this that like editorial is kind of helping because I watched an interview with Spurrier and he's not a big Flash fan, so like you
Well,
can just
clearly,
see certain lines that like it's like okay, editorial definitely stepped in and maybe helped with some of this.
yeah.
Not to knock him, like I just know
No, yeah. I
from
mean,
the
hey, if you're
interview.
not a fan, you're not a fan. And maybe this was a DC led thing. Like the editorial's like, hey, like let's try and give the Flash something a little different, and we'll give it to Spurrier because he's been doing Vertigo stuff, and Vertigo is different enough.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get some of that flavor on Flash. But
Oh yeah, and I totally get like the idea, like the
yeah, and
objective with it.
I appreciate that kind of effort because it's not easy to do that, and this book is proof of that.
Yeah.
Like you try a totally different genre, different like voices for each of the characters that have been like pretty well established for I don't know since the 80s, like well early 90s.
Yeah.
So like I mean, kudos to them for trying, but I just don't know if it's gonna land, bro. Like
Yeah. What was I gonna say?
I don't know.
I totally just blanked what I was gonna say. Oh, well, I wanted to just say like that's it's good that like editorial is like actually like helping, if that's the case,
Yeah, yeah,
because you can't expect like some of these writers, like they're not every book they get on, they're not going to be like the expert. Like they're not like us that
right,
like have read all these trades and issues and stuff.
right. I mean, hell, they
You just
should
can't
hire
expect that.
people that I don't know they or maybe hire people in your editorial staff that have done that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like not to go off on a tangent, but I feel like that's the problem at Marvel is you have a lot of editors that don't necessarily read or have done enough reading so that way like they can kind of steer things. That's just and the proof's kind of in the pudding because a lot of those books just seem either disconnected from previous continuity or it's just taking the wrong lessons from previous stories and doing shit with it
Yeah.
a lot of the time.
I will say like the Nightwing scene in this issue,
Yeah,
I
that
really
was good.
liked. I
That
really
was
liked.
good.
And it kind of like I felt like there was an opportunity to do like a little corner box editor note, like find out what's going on with Batman and
Yeah,
Chip Zdarsky's around, in the run. Just put some issues or whatever. Because it kind of felt like well, the way I read it, it was kind of referencing that. I know you're not
yeah.
reading Batman right now, but
No, but I've been like kind of keeping up with it. Ryan,
yeah,
who's the other host on Caves Cast, like he loves Batman. I tell him he should just drop it every month, but he refuses to.
no,
He loves Batman, so he just keeps reading it. He doesn't
just
like,
I'm with him. I could never drop it. There's no
and
way.
he like really is having a hard time, man. Like every time we talk, And he's like, yeah, man. He's like, Batman was just rough again. And I'm like, I'm sorry, bro.
I still feel like I don't know. I just couldn't drop it. I would go down with the ship. I think same with Flash. I'd go down with the ship. Um,
Yeah.
it's just that's how it is when you have your favorite characters.
Hey, man. Yeah, like I hung on at the end of Donny Cates Thor, and that was a ride, bro.
Yeah,
That whole like last 12 issues or whatever are ah.
I didn't go down with that ship. I didn't do it.
Hey,
I couldn't
man,
do it.
that's my book right there. Flash
Yeah,
would be too, but if it's Barry, I could drop it. Like this, if it were just this, I could be like, all right, I'm out if it's that dog shit. But
damn.
but I'll come back if it's Wally leading. I mean, you know what I mean? Like if it's good enough and I don't know. Like I maybe it's just DC lately. I've been really critical of their stuff.
Yeah. Uh,
They have a lot of great books too, so I wouldn't be missing much if I dropped Flash, I feel like.
yeah, well, I mean, I'm all in. I mean, I'm back and forth whether or not I'm gonna jump, like, continue with this new Rising from the Ashes, like X-Men, just
Oh
because I
yeah.
feel like I'm kind of exhausted with
Yeah.
Krakoa. I think what I might do is I hope they keep the reading orders in the back of the
Yeah,
X-Men
that,
books.
that would be well, I mean, especially because they've got, I don't know, 12 titles.
Yeah.
All, like
I think I'm
we talked about this last time, and I'll talk about it
yeah,
again because they've announced even more books, and it's like,
I
God,
know.
give me a break.
Yeah. I think I'm
Ugh.
just gonna, if they keep with those reading orders in the back, I think I'm just gonna go by that and just read on
I
unlimited.
was about to say, don't tell me you're about to, buy all of those.
No, no. I'm gonna I think because I really am just I'm very interested when it comes to Marvel right now. I'm very all in on like the Ultimate Universe.
Oh, dude, it's been great.
Not everything, but just Spider-Man and like
Black Panther's been good.
yeah, that looks good.
I
Yeah.
X-Men, I don't know, bro. Like, okay, I and this might be kind of harsh, but it is just like the most middle of the road, generic, like like Japanese, you know,
It's like a
comics
manga kind of
attempt on
style.
manga attempt on American comics. And I
I
don't
can
mean that to be
appreciate the
like
attempt.
yeah, exactly. Like I gave it 3 issues. The story is moving at a snail's pace. It is literally there's little dialogue. The art is just it's serviceable and it's cool, but it's just Peach Momoko. I feel like the star power is kind of weared off or worn off, but it's just average.
I
It
have
really is.
because I've been so aggressively reading like X-Men and like main continuity, like getting that
Uh,
timeline all set. I have no room for like Ultimate Universe. Like I've never read any Ultimate X-Men of like the
mhm.
old Ultimate Universe. I'm not really a fan of like Age of Apocalypse. Like I just can't do Ultimate Universe X-Men things.
Mhm.
I'm not really interested.
Yeah.
Um I wanted to go back to Batman for a sec. The end of this issue. What did you think
Mhm.
about that? Because that was like what? Like because
Okay,
well,
so I haven't actually had a chance to talk about the most recent issue, so you have to fill me in.
oh no, I'm jumping ahead of my notes. So they had the Wade West reveal.
Oh, you meant Flash. Sorry, I thought you were talking about
Yeah,
Batman.
yeah.
Okay.
What do you,
Who was it? Was it me or you that said that? We might have both said it.
I think I said Jai, and I think you said either Jai or Wade. I think you
Wade,
were
yeah.
leaning towards Wade.
Yeah.
I'd
And
have to go back
okay.
and see, but
I
I
knew it,
think we were
man.
both. I
Yeah.
feel like we were both were like Jai. I don't
Yeah, and
know.
I had a feeling, man. Like like it just made sense. The first time we see him acting weird with the West family is when he's standing outside the room when Linda, Wally, and Wade go to bed, you know? And he's like just watching them. And then every other time he's there, he's Wade is kind of around.
Oh yeah, in the
So
first issue when he's
yeah, he's like creeping
when
outside, and
Wally
Wally gets up and like he thinks he sees him, and then he looks back and it's just the bee or whatever.
yeah,
See, like that stuff was cool. I see.
I like that. Yeah, I
That was
felt like
cool.
that was
The
earned.
reveal
That
was good. I
was
like the
yeah.
reveal. It makes sense. It also kind of connects to Adams with that
with Wade.
that character had to be Wade, right? That kid that was like captured by the speedsters from the alien speedsters. That
Oh,
had to be,
yeah.
that
Oh,
was
yeah,
his
yeah.
name, right? So like
Yeah.
there's at least the connective tissue there. Like so it at least made sense like narratively that it would be Wade. So like the reveal that's like the one of the few things I liked about this issue was that it was Wade
I
that's
forgot
perspective.
about that from 1 Minute War. I
Yeah.
totally forgot about that. I don't know how I did, but
Yeah, so
that's
I'm
cool.
glad that was an exciting reveal. I'm at least glad that happened.
Yeah.
But
And I
it,
think it was the build up was great with that because it
yeah,
really the clues, and I've told you this. Um I think when we look back on this, we're gonna think of Pilgrim. I have a feeling.
yeah. Like he'll be like the standout of the book, I
I
think.
think he's been the best part of the book. Every scene with him, I'm like, I'm really paying attention. I'm very interested
Yeah.
because his motivations are so, and I think he's written very well. And
Yeah, no,
props to Spurrier
100%.
for how he's been
Like
writing him.
I was just giving shit to like the big sciencey concepts and the words that he's using, but despite there not being much expansion on all of that, it is at least interesting to read and to like look at and to see what those characters are doing because I think the dimensional stuff and what's going on with the Speed Force and the Linear Man is way more interesting than whatever the hell is going on with the Rogues and the Crown of Thorns. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like if he
absolutely.
if there were to be some kind of like greater cosmic thing going on with the Speed Force and it draws in characters like the Stillness or these other entities, if you really want to go crazy deep sci-fi, I think that would be the way to do it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because then at least at that point you're expanding on things that as like what I think is the more interesting of everything that's been introduced.
Oh, absolutely. So this is what I was talking about. The end of the
The,
issue.
this
Um,
Batman armor thing.
yeah. I I really am could I don't know what to think of that, but
Because there's this on the last page, there's like it looks like a task force logo, maybe on the armor itself.
yeah.
So is this Waller like some like one of Waller's goons using the armor to fight the Flash?
Yeah, I did appreciate like that was the last issue that going into this issue it's like that's good because now I and it is very much like when we go into the next issue it's like that's what I'm like expecting to see right away. You know,
Well,
I want to see
okay,
at
now that,
least.
now that you have the cover up and I have the page up, they just copy and pasted literally the picture on that cover and just changed Barry's position.
Yeah, or Wally's. Is that yeah, that's Wally.
Oh, it is Wally. I thought it was Barry. But
Yeah.
isn't it Barry who's fighting the
Oh, it
Batman?
is. Yeah, it is. Yes, you're
And it's
right.
Wally
Yeah.
on the cover, bro.
Yeah. Wow.
Piece
That's funny.
together, man. Ah,
But
you love to see it, man. You can't even get your flashes right.
yeah. Um, that's kind of it, man. That's like those are all my notes. Um,
Yeah,
what would you
like
give this
like I
for a
said,
rating?
6.
6?
I don't know. I I try not to weigh too heavily in ratings because then I'm like,
Then you feel like you're kind of, you
yeah,
know, yeah.
yeah, exactly. So I'm like, but yeah,
Um,
I would say it's average. It's like it's probably I liked it more than I didn't, even though I feel like for me there's not a lot to like. The things that I liked a lot, and there were a lot of things that were just whatever.
you know what's pretty nuts is like in, because we're gonna get issue 12 in August, and issue 1
Yeah,
came out last September. We've been
September.
almost doing this for a year.
Oh yeah, huh?
Isn't that crazy? Because it's
That is
monthly.
crazy, man.
It doesn't seem like it because we do it once a month, but
Yeah,
it's
well, I mean, I only missed what the issue 8 when we got JD, when we had JD on
yeah,
instead.
yeah, that was the only one.
Yeah,
But I'm
uh,
still enjoying it.
yeah. I mean, like I'm just gonna keep enjoying the parts that I enjoy, I guess. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I'm curious where it's going. I'm curious if 12 will be the last,
Mm.
because like, when I think of like those little bits of Flash that like had a small run to it, I think of like when Impulse, well, I'm like blanking.
Oh,
When
Fastest Man
Bart,
Alive.
yeah, like when Bart had his little run as the Flash, like I
Yeah,
think
because
of
that was
that.
just
I'm
12
like,
issues, right? Fast Man Alive was just 12, I thought.
yeah,
And then you had, I mean, not that like a relaunch happened, but you had the Kevin Shinnick stuff after Williamson was done,
yeah.
which was
I hope
okay.
they don't. I hope they don't relaunch again. I don't really want to relaunch again. I just kind of want,
No, just I mean, you're right. Like if you're gonna do a new creative team, just keep the numbering because relaunching is just so dumb.
yeah.
I okay. The only time I'd be okay with a relaunch is if they relaunch it and it's $1 less.
Or if they relaunch and it's like Hickman or something on it,
I mean, okay,
I would probably lose my
dude,
mind.
Hickman on the Flash. I don't even know what the hell he would write about, but it would be cool.
If they got like, well, he would handle the concepts. Like if anyone's gonna do high concept
Oh,
stuff, I would
dude,
be Hickman.
dude,
It'd,
and
it'd be like,
after reading some of his image stuff, the way that he handles like time travel and like the more sciencey concepts, he could do something hella cool.
mm,
I have no idea what it could even be about. Like like some writers you can kind of like gauge like where the story could be going and like the kind of the ideas that they're going to use. Like I feel
yeah,
like Adam's run early on, it really sets the tone for what kind of book it's going to be because it's very like family oriented with the characters. It's not super super dark. I mean, it has its more serious moments, but like for the most part, you kind of know what you're getting yourself into.
yeah. I like to
So like
think
with
with Adams, if you just read Wade's run and Jeff John's run,
yeah,
and then you kind of just were out for a little bit. Maybe you like heard kind of what was going on, or like
yeah.
watched some videos on YouTube. You could jump right into Jeremy Adams' run and like kind of get it.
It's
You know what
so
I mean?
funny that you say that because like before it started, or no, not even. Well, I didn't wasn't working at the shop when it started, but like when I started working at the shop and people were asking me like what kind of books I was reading, I'm like Flash is like one of my favorite books like on stands. And they're like, oh yeah, well why is that? And I'm like, well honestly, it feels a lot like Wade and Jeff's runs. And I don't know how many people like I like would literally walk from the desk to go pick up a copy of Adam's Flash and buy it just because I said that. And they're like, oh, I read Flash back then. I thought it was great. And they're like, who's the Flash? I'm like, it's Wally again. They're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, man. I'm like, it's been awesome. And they're like, oh, well, like, sign me up. Like, they'll buy a couple issues off the shelf and then sign up for it.
I think it's funny that for so long people were like begging for Wally to be back,
Yeah,
like as the main,
yeah.
and then once they did it, like no one knew about it. It's so strange.
Well, because it was like a very just like
It
this
was
is the
too
next
late.
number in the series and this is what we're doing. He's the Flash. That's it.
It was too late.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because at that point, a lot of us had resigned to the fact that he's just going to be like auxiliary, like all the shit that he had just been through. He was a
Yeah,
murderer. He had to go through the dark multiverse to find his family again. He got Dr. Manhattan powers. He wanted to stop being a hero because he couldn't take it anymore.
that
So
seems
we
so
were,
long ago now.
honestly, it does. Yeah.
When
Like, I
was
mean, we
Flash
had
Forward?
what, 3 good years with Williamson, or maybe not even that long. Two? I don't
When
remember.
wa- when was this? Wow, September 2019. That's insane. And I
Damn.
love that cover still.
Dude, yeah.
Oh,
Those Doc Shaner covers, man, are tight.
this was at a time where like I was only reading like a select few books, so I got every cover
Yeah,
of this.
I have the variants too.
I got every single cover because
Yeah.
like, that I love that suit.
Yeah, that is a
And
good suit. Oh,
I
dude, I'm gonna have to go out and get that figure now because I got the other one now.
yeah.
I'm gonna have to get that figure because I have the blue one, the speed metal one, and I have
Oh
the
yeah.
Donna one now. But yeah, I
When McFarlane did like just this suit, not the Manhattan
Mhm.
version,
Yeah,
I got like two of them.
damn, yeah, I need to get one.
And
I need to find one
then
online.
what was it? It was before McFarlane Toys took over. They did another one of this. And I um I got that, and I remember like people were like reselling it for like crazy
Dude, I'll
money.
tell you what, if that cover were a statue, like red suit in the chair, I would buy that shit literally day one.
Yeah. Oh man.
God, that's I love that cover.
And this was a good series too. I actually
Yeah, I
really
enjoyed
enjoyed
it.
it
I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was pretty good.
because I'm like a nut for like Morrison like multiversity, so I felt
Yeah,
like it
this
was
was a
like
good.
it was cool because like you could like open up multiversity and be like, okay, they're on this Earth, you know? It was like, oh,
Yeah,
it's so much fun. It was a
yeah, it
good
was it
time.
was pretty tight. I enjoyed it.
But like looking back, like just like
Like,
the
and then
idea
there's
of like,
like the Godspeed Linda, whatever her name is, Lightspeed.
yeah. Oh, there's so
Yeah,
many cool things about it, man.
yeah, it was
Man.
cool. I really liked it. Man, good times. Good times, but like we had to go through some rough times to get there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh,
Anytime anybody tries to talk shit like about like Wally, I'm just like, listen, he managed to come back from literal character assassination. All right.
oh yeah.
I said, I don't know how in the hell they did it, but they did it, man. Like he was back.
You know JD has this.
Yeah.
He got it from Lobdell. It's
Yeah,
kind of
it's
cool.
signed too, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if he would trade for it.
Probably not.
I'm sure I
Look at
could
this
probably
guy.
find one online.
Yeah, probably get one slabbed.
Yeah, well, like, cause here's the thing, is like those were is it the retailer exclusive? Yeah, the retailer
Yeah.
breakfast. Yeah, so like there are shops that'll get sent invitations to that breakfast because they do like book reveals or stuff like this, and they'll give them out for free. So
Oh,
like,
there's
and
a
then they're also
breakfast.
included in like comps and stuff for like the writers. So like you basically have to like be in the industry to get them, but
That's
they're
cool
cool,
though.
man. I love
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Oh, I might have to look on eBay for that now.
Like
But
like the like the guy that owns my shop, he's going to Comic Con alone this year. Like he's just going by himself.
yeah,
I'm almost sure he's gonna pick up a shit ton of exclusives.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Sweet. Well, hey man, this has been great. Always enjoy
yeah,
doing this with you.
for sure, man.
And looking forward to the next one. See what happens, man.
Yeah.
I
Just
think
hope
by the
it's
time next time we chat, I think we're gonna find out if 12 is the last or not.
I well yeah, because solicitations will be out by then and we'll know if there's a 13th issue.
We will see. Um,
We'll see.
we're getting a lot of engagement on these videos actually. Like I've been getting
Yeah.
people messaging me. So,
Wait,
um,
nobody's
you
messaging
know,
me.
anyone that keep sending messages. I really enjoy like the discussion too. I'd
Yeah.
like to kind of do more of
How,
that.
how
So,
are the comments? Like, do you think that like is there a fair amount of comments on these or no? Like on the videos?
some people they're like they enjoy just like someone's talking about like this
Mhm.
run and like
Yeah.
I don't know. I just love the engagement. That's the thing. Like even if it's just like 20 viewers, like I
Yeah.
like that there's some people that are like messaging, like they're actually
Yeah,
engaging with me.
definitely. Like,
It's great.
and I think about that too, like whenever like Ryan and I do our show and stuff. Like, I would love to talk about indie books that like nobody ever like talks about, but nobody's gonna care. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
as much as I would love them to care, I might get one person that'll message me and be like, "Wow, I can't believe somebody talked about this book."
yeah.
Because there's
Oh yeah,
probably like 20 indie books that I'm reading right now that like clear anything Marvel and DC puts out, generally speaking.
yeah.
You
Oh
know,
yeah,
like because they're just well written, just really incredible stories. And it's like one other person in the whole world is talking about it. And I just don't know who they are.
it's kind of like what with me with like the Ghost Machine stuff. Like the only other person I
Yeah.
talk to about anything in that is like JD,
Yeah.
or you,
Yeah.
and it just feels like not a lot of people are talking about it. Makes me wonder how long they're gonna keep that up.
I
But
was literally I was just gonna say that. Like if this first year is not like a bang up job for them and they like pull out something big close to the end, I don't know how many like how long it's gonna go on for, like how much legs it's got.
see that's a ship I'll go down on. Definitely Ghost Machine. I'll go down on that ship. Jeff
Hey man,
Johns,
you're gonna. Well, I mean, we're already
great fan.
going down on the Justice Society of America ship. That book's never gonna finish. It's a sinking ship that's gonna never reach the bottom.
Yeah, just like Doomsday Clock. It just
Dude,
never.
okay, yes. Oh my God. But at least Doomsday Clock like didn't get within a week or two of its release of the next issue, and then they push it back another month. They've done it like four times.
Yeah, I remember
Issue
like
10 is never gonna come out, dude.
I
Remember?
remember like around like when was graduating college, I was just like, man, is he ever gonna finish Doomsday Clock? He was like, wow, just crazy. But
Yeah,
we
I don't
got
know,
it.
man.
I mean, so I mean, he'll finish Justice Society at some point.
Yeah, in
But
2027, that'll be fine.
yeah, that'll probably be his last book at DC.
It has to. There's no way it's not. Like I feel like they're both just so tired of each other.
Yeah, I
Like
think
I,
he's had enough.
you know what I mean? Like, and it, yeah, it's just time for them to kind of part ways, I think, and just really, really, really be done this time because it's just kind of even from like a from perspective of not literally not knowing anything that goes on behind the scenes, it's pretty evident that they're just not like they're not meshing anymore.
Yeah, uh, I
Which
it's
sucks,
tough.
man, with
Yeah.
because Jeff writes some really, really cool DC stuff, and it's a shame to see that like kind of door appear to close.
Well, he's not the guy at DC anymore.
Yeah. I mean, they don't even have a guy, I feel like, anymore.
I feel like
You know
it's
what I mean?
either Williamson or Wade right now, but like
Yeah,
they can't decide
exactly. For
who.
how much longer though? If they boot up the absolute line, it's probably going to be Snyder again.
Yeah.
The Snyder, I don't see a lot of Snyder books coming out these days that are like big hits. They're just his indie stuff that have been going on for years, and it's just kind of like he pushes out a few titles a year, and then it kind of like works on something else. Like he's been talking about working on Witches and all that other stuff.
Is he
But
still
yeah,
doing Nocterra?
I think it's on a break again, or
Oh,
did it end?
yeah. 2023.
Well, yeah, that's over then. See, 16 issues.
Did Tony Daniel do the whole thing? Wow, he did a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think he did the whole thing.
He's got his own book now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he writes and draws it. Edenwood, I think is what it's called.
Oh, we're
I
going
don't
on a
know.
tangent again. But
Eric good things about it. Yeah, but I got to get going. I got to
yeah,
go feed
man, it's great talking with
him.
you, and look forward to it next month.
For sure, man. I'll catch you later.
See ya.
Peace.